I was really pleased to be asked to write some things about Advent. As it turns out, Advent is my most favorite season of the year, in part because I think it reflects really deeply what life at its depth and breadth is really about, which is about remembering, recalling, being informed by our past moments, having some hopes, imaginations for the future, and seeking to bring both the past and the future together to inform our present moments in life, and the depth and perspective and compelling questions that we have about our life in those moments in time. Life is about deepening questions about our identity and our relationships, about our mission, our hopes, our promise for the future, and wondering how we in fact can move forward in those kinds of hopeful, promising ways. So Advent is an incredible season of the year, but for me it really reflects about really what happens daily to us, of the memories that we have from yesterday or yesteryear impacting us as we seek to engage life at its depth and breadth in these present moments, even as we anticipate and hope for a future promise, expectation for ourselves and for others in the world. So it's this wonderful intersection of life at its depth and breadth that intrigues me about Advent, both as a season and as also an opportunity to inform us about our daily life. And I know that it's difficult because Advent, perhaps more than any other, brings to us those compelling voices from our tradition, our culture, our deeply held personal values, and this, our daily experience, all coming together in a collage or a mosaic of voices that seek to inform us about who we are and what might be important in life. And Advent is a time when all of those voices seem particularly intense. And so it's helpful, I believe, to try to gain some perspective of what's happening around us and within us, so that we, in fact, might clear the deck, so to speak, to deal with those most compelling issues and concerns that we have at the heart of our existence. So it was a pleasure to add some thoughts, some questions, and these questions are not all the questions for sure, but they're listed as a way to invite the reader, most importantly, to ask his or her own questions. What are those most important, compelling questions in our life? And how is it that we want to spend some time, some energy, perspective to deal with them? And it's also a time of remembering and being reminded, but it's also a time of being surprised, because as we gather some time to do some reflection, we're often very much surprised by what is emerging from within us and around us. So life, in fact, is full, complex, sometimes difficult, and sometimes just wonderful in its exploration in time. So I hope this resource might be, in fact, a resource that for you, the reader, you'll deepen and strengthen this resource in ways that are particular to you, and to share these thoughts and ideas with others that are around you, and wish you well in